It's a brand new day. It's a brand new week. This is Sunrise Breakfast Show coming to you live on Topstar Channel 110 on Prime Television, Zambia 2. Good morning, Zambia. This morning, we're not just waking you up, waking up the conversation. From floods displacing families to elections, testing our democracy, to a heartbreaking story that has shaken the nation. This is a show about the Zambia that we are living now. My name is Kapili Dominic.
And my name is Michael Himosa Jonia. For the next 2 hours, we'll be... So it's actually very important, you know, when you establish the way you are at the moment, you just go back to Palabana and maybe plant a seed. So if I was a man of God, I would have said, Dominic, go back to Palabana and plant a seed so that the seed grows.
The seed should grow.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Indeed.
All right, so we are coming to you live on Topstar Channel 110 and also streaming live on our Facebook. That's Ptv2 Zambia. And we are also on YouTube. That's Ptv2 Zambia. Here's what we have prepared for you. And we're going to be unpacking in the next 2 hours. Now, floods in Wengwa, Monza district, where over 600 people have been affected. Our reporter John Shikabe joins us live later. And Wengwa happens to be my home village.
Oh, but you don't talk about it so much. No, sir, you should get serious.
I should get serious.
Yes, you should.
You know,
talk about Wengwa.
Born in Wengwa, but grew up in Livingston.
Oh, okay, I see.
Then the rest of my life, I think, in Lusaka now.
Oh, Lusaka.
All right, so the political aftershocks of the Chawama by-election, including questions about voter confidence, violence, and accountability. We speak to UPND Livingston District Youth Chairperson for Security, Mr. Philip Musila. He's going to join us later on the show. And, social media has been abuzz with a story that has, steered the country. Clinton Mumba, a student from Cavendish University, who actually handed himself to the police in Kalingalinga after he got a loan of over 14,000 kwacha, to pay the medical bills of his mother. Then he failed to pay back. Then, people like that actually lent him money, reported him to the police, and he was obviously wanted, and he just had to hand himself over to the police. And we're going to be talking to GC Comedy, who is going to unpack the deeper crisis behind the headlines. And later, JC wraps up with AFCON 2025. We saw Senegal actually becoming the champions of the AFCON, and it was nice seeing, the drama that was there. I don't know if you are a football fanatic.
No. I'm actually not a football fan. I'm not a very social person out there, but I'm a very interesting person.
You should find one football team to actually watch or maybe support, because there's just a way football is. When you've got so much pressure and you go in the in the ground, maybe to watch the local teams playing, the arena, the way it is, the atmosphere, the fans, the way they chant, and also they unleash, the bad words to the players, and there's just a lot happening in the world of sports, and especially being a fan or a supporter. It's very easy seeing or spotting mistakes when you are in the terraces.
Yeah.
But when you are put in the technical bench, it's very difficult for you now to put things together and ensure that, you win the game.
So I actually duly support particular teams at particular times. So if, let's say, Manchester and Tottenham are playing, if my friends are supporting Tottenham, I would support Tottenham. But the problem is, when someone scores, I always feel good and rejoice. So I get to not know which team or which side I'm at, because the map would be Tottenham, Manchester along, and then that jump. Hey, people just look,
do you even know some players in the Zambia national team?
Yes, Zambia national team.
Can you please mention at least 5?
Dhaka.
Colleagues. Dhaka plays for which football club, internationally?
There's Dhaka, there's fashion. You said Zambia. Let's stick to Zambia.
Okay.
There's Dhaka, there's fashion.
Uh-huh.
There's Sakala.
But Sakala is fashion.
Colleagues, you said the names.
All right, we move on. I'll invite you. I think I need to be going with you when going to watch soccer, so that you just acquaint yourself
With the things I've seen in Copper Belt, those guys, they beat the people, they beat the players. No.
All right, this, dear viewers, this is your show, and we're going to be getting interactive on 0972 036 306. 0972-036-306. You can drop your comments, and we need to challenge your leaders. Join the conversation as it unfolds on the breakfast show, because we've got a lot of a jam-packed show just prepared for you.
So, Mr. Musa, before we get into the headlines, what is actually troubling you this morning?
There's a lot in my mind, and like you mentioned, this weekend has been full of activities. Talk about international news as well as local news, to community news. Just a lot has been happening. But what has been troubling me, it's the elections in Uganda.
In Uganda?
Yes.
Oh, we heard about the internet. I just had a headline this morning. I don't know if it's about this morning, but the internet has actually been restored.
Has been restored, yes. But prior to the election, the internet was shut down. And I think this has become a trend to most of the African countries when we are towards the elections. The government seemed to play around with internet, because I remember in 2021, we came to know, is it VPN?
VPN, yes.
Yes. And internet was tempered, whereby people had no access to internet. The question remains unanswered up to now. Just last year, is it early this year? We had elections in Tanzania, where the incumbent president actually had to return her seat. We saw how the internet was also shut down. And in Uganda, prior to the elections, the internet was also shut down. And we don't know the reason why.
Maybe I have two questions. Is it because our leaders don't trust the system, the electronic systems? They feel that the opposition might rig. Or maybe is it the coming in of AI? Or maybe is it just not trust in themselves that things might go well? Or maybe is it them trying to play around the system?
Maybe it could be misinformation and disinformation, I think, where people get to share maybe unverified information. Because we saw even in Zambia, we're going to be talking about that later, where Mao Sampa actually alleged that the ECZ had pitched up a tent, which is an illegal, voting center.
Yeah.
And after some time, it was all over social media. And unfortunately, it was unverified information.
Maybe we're not just responsible enough to handle the internet, because we're misusing the internet. Because if such a thing was happening, what Mao Samba did, playing around with people's votes and people's rights and, with people's emotions, and people can turn out in a very different way. So I want to believe this trend, I'm foreseeing this trend coming into the 2026 general elections, because we cannot continue having careless statements by leaders, careless statements by people who are very influential, because it brings up something different. I don't know what your take is.
I don't think the internet should be tempered in that manner, because you remember that there are laws and regulations that actually govern how or regulate how we are supposed to use social media. There's the cybersecurity law, which is actually in effect at the moment.
Yeah.
And so the government should actually use that law towards such people. But government shouldn't shut down internet to prevent people from interacting and everything like that. Because even if you prevent people from interacting on on internet or social media, they're going to find a way of communicating. In 2021, we had VPN, and we were able to communicate with VPN. In Uganda, when the internet was shut down, there was, they were using an application which is more like Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So people would just share information just like Bluetooth like that. So it was another way of communicating apart from using the internet. And also there was an 87-year-old MP who actually retained his seat in Uganda.
And the photos that I saw.
Yes, and that baffled me because, someone is seated and he's just shaking like that. Like, he can't stand for himself. But then this actually leaves me with a lot of questions. Where are the young people? Does Uganda only have the elderly to lead them? Muchi laws, we say, nibamu yayaya. You want people to die on their seat.
The people have chosen.
No, but there's just a lot that happened in Uganda. We saw some electoral officers as well with booklets of ballots marking the booklets on Yoweri Museveni. So there's just a lot. So, but we didn't verify if at all those booklets were added or tallied to the numbers that actually saw Yoweri Museveni retaining his seat.
It's over 70%. Is it 70%?
Exactly. And we saw the opposition leader, Bobby Wine, being followed by the military, his house being surrounded and everything like that. So, this has been troubling me from the weekend till now, as in how Africans, we handle elections. So it's really terrible. We hope to see change going forward.
From my point of view, Bob Wine, of course, it's a trend. He's always been whining, and what is being shown on the screens and what we are being told, the facts from their perspective, that Seven has gotten over 70%, and all these things coming up. The power of AI and the power of technology now. We don't know those unverified videos and pictures might be AI generated, because there are issues of AI even in this country.
But as a journalist, there are tools that you can use to actually fact check information and also fact check videos if at all it's AI. So there are tools that you can use. For example, if you've posted a picture,
okay,
and you want to verify if that picture is really, maybe it was posted recently or a year in which it was posted, you can actually check the year it was posted, who posted it, which article accompanied that picture. You can use iVerify for that. Or you can use reverse image.
Or then it takes you to the places where it was posted.
Yes. And it will tell you if maybe the photo doesn't exist, it will tell you. Okay. So you can use reverse image. So if
share
you
this information with mouse.
So you can also use reverse image for videos. So I remember there was a time when I was in Livingstone, and there was a story that broke out on the internet that a man has turned into an elephant, and an elephant was, bathing itself using a hose pipe and everything like that. And people believed it because Livingstone is known to have a high population of elephants.
Yeah.
But we had to, come together as journalists and verify that information. And we actually discovered that the video that was posted, it was from India. And the elephant, there's a way an African elephant looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Its ears, the shape is like an African map, but the ears of that elephant that was in the video, it was just, an Asian elephant. Okay. So those are some of the particular things that you need to see beyond just a video.
So even these animals have got different features.
Exactly.
African
and yes,
animals,
even the color itself, it's different. Yes.
There you have it, viewers. You've learned something from someone who comes from
but anyway, since you say I should be proud of my village. All right, let's move on, Dominic.
Yeah. So this is where we really ask the hard questions, of course. Now, speaking of the rains and the weather forecast today. Let's just take a look at what we have on the weather forecast today. All right, that was your weather outlook. So now the kwacha continues to show resilience, but pressure remains. Now let's take a look at how the kwacha is trading against international currencies. We have the United States dollar buying at 19 kwacha 86 ngwe and selling at, we have the United States dollar buying at 19 kwacha 28 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 52 ngwe. The euro is buying at 23 kwacha and...
All right, so the euro is buying at 22 kwacha 42 ngwe and selling at 22 kwacha 76 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 26 kwacha 62 ngwe and selling at 27 kwacha at 12 ngwe. And the South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 17 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 19 ngwe. So those are your money markets. The kwacha, Dominic, has, of recent, it's showing gains and showing its resilience and muscles. Like I mentioned last time, let's buy cars. This is the opportunity that we can, take.
And Africa by 8 kwacha. I foresee this.
This is the problem with us people. We don't take advantage when the dollar, it's low compared to the kwacha.
The way it is right now, it's going down.
Muzaka shokwa.
So hapa teaching first get up 5. That's
okay.
when life will be.
But are you sure it's not Africa per 5?
Okay, I'm sure it might reach 8. Going there, but with what is going on, if the government actually increases the percentage at which we are trading and our reserves, our copper is being sold in China, I think we can even go down to as far as 5, because now I believe where they are only allowed to pay directly in just for 15% directly, but if it goes higher, the percentage, I feel we'll feel the reduction and the falling down of the dollar. And most of us will be driving serious vehicles, my good sir.
We hope so. But anyway, let's now scan through what the newspapers are saying this beautiful morning. We're going to start with the news diggers. Maybe you can just take us through the headlines in the news diggers this beautiful morning.
All right, so the news diggers. The first headline says, HH went to rest ahead of hectic election year. That's what our government is saying. The head of state went to rest so that he can, when he comes back up, no sleep, is wake
after wake. But I don't know if, anyway, there's just a lot happening in our country because the opposition was actually claiming that the president is sick. And maybe that's the reason why government has come out in that way to clarify, to say he just went to rest. And actually, yesterday, my Bapongos asked me a question that I somehow failed to answer. You know, he was like, you know, but why did HH, you know, took a leave to, to the farm?
But you know,
So his argument was most of the time when presidents are sick, they usually take a 10 days leave.
okay, yeah.
And for Hijilema, even if we haven't had, you know, him going to the hospital, he's always at the farm. He's a farmer.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway,
The
the
love,
government has clarified.
the love for his farm is the love for Palawana, like for me. So I don't think it's a problem when a head of state actually goes on leave or decides to go to his investment. And it shows us who he is, and you know, it shows us what he prioritizes. It even shows us to say, okay, this person is a working person besides just work. He also has a life that he has to lead and other things that he has to do. And I feel we as people in this country, young people in the media space, and as other politicians, you know, we need to take keen interest in fact giving information. Let us not give information that will mislead people, because already we have people saying the president is sick. Why are you trying to do that? You know, this you know, there's a lot that we need to do about our social media also, and how we use our internet and what we say. You know, akaenda chezi muntu no adwa no ashtabwanji. And you know, this is not really good, because again, we're not wishing well for our head of state and the person that is leading us. But anyway, this is a conversation for another day. For another day. Yeah. One of the headlines said, Chawama victory shows that democracy is alive. Given Luvinda.
Well, that's true, because a lot of people thought UPND is going to have an easy road in Chawama. But, you know, there's a saying that I like, man plans and God laughs.
Okay.
So you can be planning up Milo, nizaenda ku America, Junze Jiro, nizaenda ku Livingstone, Junze Jiro ku Paravana and everything like that. But God is just there laughing at you. So you're saying
that both of them didn't plan to win, because all of them planned to go and win.
So everyone was planning to win, but God was just there laughing. I presume, anyway.
There's a very interesting headline here on the News Diggers that says that People's Pact petitions ECZ's to halt delimitation.
To halt, okay. But you know, it's because the delimitation exercise is contained in Act 13, which was Bill 7. So anyway, I don't know the reasons they've given for the petition for the delimitation, because the ECZ actually gave an update over delimitation exercise. They say very soon they are going to actually do the delimitation before the verification of the register, voter register.
Okay.
Exactly. So I don't know the hurry and the reasons, but you know, let's take a chill pill and see what is going to happen.
Mr. Musa, people are complaining to say this delimitation, they are foreseeing the southern side, and where, in inverted commas, where the president comes from, that there will be more delimitation done that side than anywhere else, so that there can be more MPs in parliament. Already there's an allegation that the president will win, but his MPs won't pull through, you know. So
anyway,
people are...
those are just claims, and I'm sure very soon they will release actually the new constituencies that will be created.
Okay.
And there was some documents that I saw where some new, like how many constituencies are going to be created in particular regions. And I shared with you, because you were saying there will be Palavana, and I shared to you to say there would be no Palavana.
No, that report was a report in 2019 that was suggested where there's Manyika, where Palavana is largely, you know. Then there's Chongwe Central, and I think there's Zichinkuli somewhere there. So the For Chongwe and for Palawana, I feel the limitation is something that we need. Just few days ago,
So,
last
but now,
week on
so
Thursday.
Chongwe, it's this side. Is it in Southern Province?
No.
So why do people claim that there will be more constituencies in Southern Province?
That's what the allegations are. But even us in Chongwe, we are feeling it, particularly in Palawana, because of the CDF.
So if you are feeling it, let it go ahead.
Yes, I'll actually tell you that we in Palawana Secondary School right now, the PTA and the members of the community have come together to now build a 1x3 classroom block, because the CDF has failed to actually contain the whole Chongwe, because there's a lot of things happening. And now we are forcing and we've decided, and now our parents are now paying an extra 300 kwacha through the PTA, and through themselves they've sat down to say, okay, let's do this, so that they can be able to contribute to this through 1x3 classroom block. And we've got other different farmers from around Palawana who have come together and who have also started to contribute. And these are things that other people are enjoying under the CDF. But for us, because of how big Chongwe is and how vast it is, it's difficult, and it's realistic that the CDF cannot contain the whole Chongwe constituency the way others are enjoying it, and development is happening, progress is growing, people are growing. And this is what we are now doing because of this. And I feel for us in Palawana, we need this delimitation, we need these things, because at the end
if you need it, let it go ahead.
Yeah, we can't stop people from talking.
Definitely. All right, so let's just move on to the mass newspaper. Yes, so with the mass newspaper, the major headline, or the screaming headline, is UPND survives on violence. It cannot win an election in a peaceful environment. That's coming from Silumbe. You take on that?
You can be in the opposition and you can be heard by being objective and not always trying to just put salt where there is no salt, or make a wound and put salt. We have seen, and everybody has actually appreciated how the no violence Chawama election was. We have seen, I was there personally, there was no violence. I would walk there when people are campaigning, there was no violence. Two parties from different, we've seen photos, we've seen videos, people dancing, one is in PF and one is in UPND, though there was no PF. But you see in FDD, we would see these things happening. And I feel this headline, I think people are lacking headlines. Let's put headlines that are more objective and that will help us move forward. Let's have headlines on how the Constituency Development Fund should increase, and how we should inquisitively monitor as young people and as the country and as the opposition. Let's look at our people. Are they getting cash for work? Let's talk about it. If they're failing, let the opposition, let these leaders give us different answers or alternatives, how it can enhance and how people can benefit. At the end of the day, they're standing in these positions, or they want to vie because they want to save us, the people.
All right, so the discourse should actually be issue-based.
Issue-based, not welcome by the UPND survives on violence. That's not what we want to hear. All
right, so let's move on, because time is not always our best friend. Let's go to the Daily Nation, which also has got a screaming headline, which says, ECZ can't nullify Chawama poll, CSOs. Advises the commission against yielding to pressure by UPND losing candidate. State that in the fact, the ECZ has no powers to order the nullification of a nomination, or indeed an election result that it has certified and announced. After Bright Nundwe from the FDD, yes, was declared winner, we saw some political parties actually announcing plans to petition the results.
They also want attention. Let's look at Bright Nundwe. He's a very powerful candidate. He's very well known in the PF, and we've seen how he was. He was supposed to stand in Chawama, but he was removed from Chawama. There's no need of this. Election was free and fair. The people of Chawama have spoken. They have decided, and they have voted Mr. Bright. And Bright is a very strong candidate. If you look at Mr. Bright Nundwe's history, Mr. Bright Nundwe is a very powerful candidate.
Vanatipikirako, okutuwashirako.
Vanatipikirako, tuwashirako. But never Bright.
All right, so let's move on. We're just perusing and rushing
Oh, yeah.
because we have to get into other segments as well. Let's go to the Times of Zambia, which says granddaddy dies in rescue bid. So this is a story that happened in Northwestern Province,
Okay.
where you know a child dropped in the or fell in the sockaway. Then this grandfather was trying to rescue the grandson, but unfortunately, the grandfather fell in the sockaway and died. So, in an attempt to rescue his grandson, he died himself.
You know, the love that our parents have for us, you know, is so great, and this is so sad. And this will live to remember what he actually did, this bravery he did actually.
Sure. All right. So now let's move to the Real Times newspaper.
Have you seen that the headline that says ARVs abuse?
ARVs abuse, NZP plus consent. Not knowing how the ARVs are being abused.
So what's going on is that the people who are taking these drugs are getting the drugs and going to sell them on the black market. In Jaram Zambia.
Side hustle.
Yeah, let's go to the Times then.
All right, so we now move to the Real Times newspaper, which says DMMU aids Wengwa. Says apart from food, shelter, and essential supplies, the unit has delivered maize seed. Okay, so after the floods, we're going to be talking about the Wengwa in a jiffy. So maybe we can just move to the Daily Mail newspaper, where Mausampa actually is headlining the daily newspaper and says, I'm sorry. Mausampa apologizes to ECZ over allegations of fake polling station. Please, can you go ahead to sing that song?
Zambia, I'm sorry.
Who sang the song?
Your maps.
But are the lyrics correct?
No, I'm trying to edit them according to Mouse.
Okay.
Because this one is I'm sorry.
But sing it better. You can do better.
You know, let's not sing. Let's talk about Mouse.
All right, we'll be talking about Mouse later as we go on the show.
Yeah.
Now, we take a short break, and when we return, a floods, displacement, and government response in Wengwa. Don't go away.
Thank you so much and welcome back. You're watching the Sunrise Breakfast Show coming to you live on Top Star Channel 110 and streaming live on our Facebook page. That is Ptv2 Zambia. Also streaming on our YouTube page. That is Ptv2 Zambia. Now going forward, Mr. Musa will take us through the next segment where he will be discussing the flood.
Right now, families in Bwenga constituency in Monzi district of Southern Province have been left homeless after heavy rain swept away houses and livelihoods. Some families are now stranded along the roadside with nowhere to sleep and nothing to salvage. We have the details in the following report.
Bwenga constituency in Monze district of Southern Province has recently been hit with a natural disaster that has left many families without homes. Heavy rains caused floods in the area, submerging people's homes and leaving them homeless. As a result, families have been forced to seek shelter on the side of the road with no place to call home. One of the affected community member, Bridget Kaonga, shared her heartbreaking story of losing everything in the flood. Not only were her home and belongings washed away, but her 7 goats also could not survive the water current.
So kunyina aja kujitaji shubwandi jige boji hujalo ja kutibarie bana waguina abusu agulala kunyina ngubo yose yaropa kuina.
Bridget Kaonga and her family are left with nothing, not even enough food to feed themselves. They are forced to face the cold nights with no shelter, clothes and blankets. Kumba expressed his concerns about how his family will survive after all their planted maize fields were submerged in water. Bwenga area member of parliament Mijeroga Sauta is also saddened by the situation.
To a point whereby the water now, is going through the tarmac. I think we really need, to work extra hard with the contractor so that we can remedy the situation. Then coming also to the people who are living in those lowland areas, a kind request to them that they leave those areas as soon as possible because these rains will continue.
Area member of parliament is aware of the devastating impact the flood has had on the families in his constituents. Bwenga area member of parliament Mijeroga Sauta is also saddened by the situation.
To a point whereby the water now, is going through the tarmac. I think we really need, to work extra hard with the contractor so that we can remedy the situation. Then coming also to the people who are living in those lowland areas, a kind request to them that they leave those areas as soon as possible because these rains will continue.
Area member of parliament is aware of the devastating impact the flood has had on the families in his constituents, and he is determined to do everything in his power to help them. John Shikabe, Prime TV News in Monze District, Southern Province.
That's a sad development coming there from Bwenga. But we're going to have a descriptive and interesting conversation with John, our reporter, who was there, and Mr. Musa is going to conduct that interview.
You know, you're putting me in an awkward situation. You know that?
But how?
You're really putting me in an awkward position because why should I talk about issues to do with my village?
No, you need to adapt the spirit of loving where you come from.
This is where we declare interest. So I think today you've made me to talk much about my village. And anyway, I'm happy that you didn't know that I come from that area. But on set, we are joined by John Shikabe, our reporter from Monze. Just to talk about a lot of details concerning what transpired in Bwenga. Mr. John, good morning and welcome to the Sunrise Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Mr. Musa. How are you that side? And greetings to our listeners.
We are doing fine. Good morning.
Monze is just okay, not knowing how is the environment in Lusaka.
Lusaka, there's some sunrise, and it's chilly. We can't complain. But yesterday it was raining at least. And I'm sure this time around farmers are celebrating, despite what is happening in Monze and Bwengwa, to be specific. Now, how does this rainy season compare to previous years? Are these floods in Monze West, or are we simply more vulnerable now compared to these other years?
I think in Monze, when you compare to the 2024-2025 rain season, you find that during the 2024-2025, people experienced a severe drought, and there were no such cases of floods being experienced, especially in Monze. When you compare to this year, to this 2025-2026 rain season, we've seen the district experiencing normal to above normal rainfall, and we've seen also some severe floods being experienced within the district, where most of the crossing points, homes are being flooded with water, including the crops. So the 2024 and 2024-2025 rain season, I think people experienced drought, but this year at least people are experiencing the above rainfall pattern, which is also a blessing to other people, because a number of farmers have been crying for these rains because of what they experienced last year, where they did not harvest much. But this year, at least with their prayers they were doing last year, God has answered them. But to some these challenges that have just arisen, like floods, I think those are the challenges like people have been faced with, where last year we didn't experience a situation where people are being blocked from accessing other services, like in Monze town, like the way they are facing now. Because if you go to areas like Bwengwa, especially Hamangaba, for you to access, if there's a referral from the clinic at Hamangaba, which is supposed to go maybe to Monze Mission Hospital, it's very challenging, because there will be nowhere where you can cross, because all the crossing points are flooded with water. So the floods for 2024-2025 were at least not so severe like the way it is now in the district.
All right, now I want you to paint
of what is obtaining on the ground at the moment in Bwengwa. Beyond homes, what critical infrastructure has been damaged?
Most of the crossing points have been damaged. Also, the issues to do with if you look at let me just give you this picture. If you look at currently, they are constructing the Monze Nico Road, and the construction works are still going on. And if you are, I think you've been there to Bwengwa. So if you check at Bwengwa Bridge, just after Bwengwa Bridge, the way they have designed the road, it's more or less like they have created a dam wall. When water is coming from the other side, it is being blocked by the road that is being constructed, hence causing those people, like causing those families who are living within the area facing challenges of floods, because the water cannot flow very quick. It cannot flow. There's that blockage for the water to flow. So those people who are living along that area of near the road, they are experiencing those floods. Then, and once that water is creating floods, a number of bridges that side are being blocked. So those people can't access any service in town, even any service at Wengwa Market, because most of their crossing points have been flooded. Other things that have been also maybe damaged are the maize fields. If you look at how people have had that passion of farming, especially in Wengwa area, and they had that hope that this year they will harvest, and all the 600 plus hectares of land or of maize fields have been washed away by the water.
But we hope that he's going to come back as soon as possible. Obviously, that was due to internet glitches, but we take a break. But still to come, we're going to connect, Mr. Philip Musela, who is Livingston UPND District Chairperson for Security, to give us more details, the aftermath of the 2020, six Chawama by-elections. But I guess we are now back with Mr. John Shikabe. Mr. Shikabe, are you there? Mr. Shikabe, are you there?
They have started closing the internet.
Anyway, these are the results. These are the results. But we are going to continue when Mr. Shikabe, joins us with the conversation of what is happening in Wengwa. Dominic, you just saw the pictures of Wengwa and how the situation is. People are moving in flooded water. Even animals. 600 people have been displaced in Wengwa because of the same.
I think that is a very bad and sad development. I was with one of my colleagues, and we met one of the councillors from Subuyuchi district, and they were talking about floods and rains and how bad their road is, and also trying to put some drainages around there. And so looking at these flooding issues, I think looking at this, we as Zambian people and the government and the opposition should now start giving proper checks and balances on how we can objectively harvest this water and make a detour and divert it so that we can start to have better services in electricity, better services, because electricity actually, or ZESCO per se, they actually contribute highly to the GDP of our country. Even small businesses, starting from Ajama Salonoma Babashop to the miners who actually use more of our power and more of the, so we need to start looking in those directions. I just hope our opposition is ready for the task of being objective when I'm looking at such things.
All right, so Mr. John Shikabe is back, and we were just talking about painting a picture of what is obtaining on the ground in Wengwa. So, Mr. John, how many families have been affected, and also the livestock? Maybe just bring us to speed on what is happening.
Oh, all right. Sorry, we had an unexpected interruption. I think I was too maybe giving a picture of some of the infrastructures and the maize fields that have been destroyed following the heavy downpour in Wengwa that has caused maybe some floodings in the area. So approximately Monze district, over I think 755 families have been affected. But those who have been severely affected, there are about 51 families, those who have been relocated from those flooded areas.
Okay, now, are people receiving immediate relief, or are communities largely left to fend for themselves?
So currently, those, the 51, they have been relocated to other places which are not flooded, as they wait for the water to normalize and find an alternative way. But also this raises some questions and concerns from the members of the public. If you look at our people, the way they build their structures, especially in these rural areas, most of their structures are not, they cannot withstand with the climate change, especially in rural parts of southern province. And most of the people also are settling in those flooded prone areas. That's one of the challenges causing all these experiences people are facing currently now. Because if you look at the 751 people who were relocated to other areas, where they settled or where they have settled, those are flooded prone areas. So despite government coming in wanting to help them, but as well they must develop that mindset of saying that where we are settled is not safe, because they have been experiencing these challenges previously. Like in 2022, we saw a number of people being relocated from the same areas, and they have gone back. And and maybe to shed more light, the chief had offered the land, or like he offered land for people. Like once they experience, once they are towards rain season, they should be relocating from those flooded prone areas to that place the chief had given the community. But it seems people, they don't want to be shifting. They say yes, we are used to stay in these areas.
All right, Mr. John, thank you so much for your time.
We'll be, getting to you so that you give us more insight on what is obtaining on the ground in Wengwa, even as the day unfolds.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Well, that was Mr. John Shikabe, our Monze-based reporter. And we now take a break. When we come back, Dominic is going to be talking to Mr. Philip Musela, who is Livingstone District UPND, youth chairperson for security and politics. Don't go away.
Thank you so much, viewers. You're still watching the Sunrise Breakfast Show coming to you live on Topstar, Channel 110, and streaming on our Facebook page. That is Ptv2 Zambia. Please join the conversation. Let us know where you're watching us from. You can come into our comment section on social media. We thank you for Grace, who's keenly following, and we also thank Mwaka Monga, who's also following the conversation. All right, going forward, Chawama has spoken and the message is loud. The Opposition Forum for Democratic Development, FDD candidate Bright Nundwe, backed by the Tonses, scooped the Chawama parliamentary by-election. Mr. Nundwe was declared duly elected Member of Parliament for Chawama in the early hours of Friday, January 16th at around 03:20 hours. Mr. Nundwe poured 8,085 votes, defeating his closest rival from the UPND, who is Uncle Morgan, who at least also got 6,504 6,543 votes, representing a margin of 1,543 votes. Then followed by Citizens First Party candidate, Mr. Devson Mulenga, came third out of the 9 contesting candidates with 1,534 votes, nearly matching the vote margin by which the UPND lost to the FDD. Let's take a look at Rajesh's report before we enter and before we have our interview.
Munda Morgan, UPND, 6,542. Nundwe Bright B, FDD, 8,085. I further declare that a total of 290 ballot papers have been rejected as invalid, and that a total of 18,096 votes were cast. I therefore declare that the said Nundo Bright B to be this day duly elected as Member of Parliament.
The Chawama parliamentary seat has been won by Forum for Democratic Development FDD candidate Bright Nundwe, backed by the Tonzi Alliance. Mr. Nundwe was declared duly elected in the early hours of Friday after polling 8,085 votes, defeating UPND candidate Morgan Munda, who garnered 6,543 votes.
And my message in Chawama constituency was that let us be peaceful. And I'm grateful. But most importantly, I would like to thank God for this very important assignment that has given to me to serve the people of Chawama. Yes. I want to promise the people of Chawama that there will be a component of humility in me. Yes. It is written in the Bible, God resists the proud. Yes. By the grace of the Almighty God descends on the people that are humble. Yeah. I will pursue that path. And I want to promise the people of Chawama that I will be a servant of them. I will work with them diligently.
As we send Bright Nundwe to Parliament, we remind him that his time in Parliament will be very short. But this is the start of the journey to liberating Zambia in August this year. For all the people who supported us, I want to say thank you. Only God will reward us. But God only gives to those who strive to achieve. Let us all strive to achieve the bigger success in August this year.
I want to promise the people of Chawama that there will be a component of humility in me. Yes. It is written in the Bible, God resists the proud. Yes. By the grace of the Almighty God descends on the people that are humble. Yeah. I will pursue that path. And I want to promise the people of Chawama that I will be a servant of them. I will work with them diligently.
As we send Bright Nundwe to Parliament, we remind him that his time in Parliament will be very short. But this is the start of the journey to liberating Zambia in August this year. For all the people who supported us, I want to say thank you. Only God will reward us. But God only gives to those who strive to achieve. Let us all strive to achieve the bigger success in August this year.
The election was largely peaceful Rajesh Michael Simiza reporting Prime TV News in Lusaka.
We thank you, Rajesh, for that report. Now joining us is Philip Musela, UPND Livingston District Youth Chairperson for Security. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm good, and you, sir?
I'm good. Chair.
Yes, sir.
How painful was the loss for the United Party for National Development, the UPND?
Hello, come again?
How painful
was the loss for the UPND in Chawama?
In any competition, any loss is so painful, especially an election like the one that we had in Chawama. So I can say the loss was painful. Yeah.
What, in your view,
did they reject the candidate? Did they reject the message? Or did they reject the party itself in Chawama?
I think there was no rejection there. In as far as I'm concerned, if you look at the voters register for Chawama has about 92,000 registered voters. And if you look at the number of people that went to vote, I mean, it's not even making half of that number of registered voters here. So, to me, there was no rejection. I think there was apathy. Apathy also contributed. And our colleagues from the PF, their message they were using in Chawama there, they were using the message of Lungu. The only campaign message that they were taking there was about Lungu. And even their win, they won because of sympathy. They had sympathy vote. And you look at, and if you look at Chawama, since time immemorable, UPND had never had any member of parliament in Chawama there. There was FDD, MMD, FDD, PF, and now we have FDD again. So to me, we did not lose Chawama. I think we gained. The only people that lost the Chawama seat are the PF, because the winner at the end of the day is the FDD.
Some analysts
in Chawama say that the Chawama election reflects growing frustration with the ruling party. Is the UPND listening?
Frustrations might be there, but if you look at development, can you tell me to say there's no CDF in Chawama? There is CDF in Chawama. Social, what do you call this one?
social cash transfer.
Social cash transfer. So benefiting. Whatever Lusaka Central is benefiting, even Chawama is benefiting. So, I mean, yes, we might have a few members who are frustrated. We might have a few Chawama residents who are frustrated at the end of the day. But that does not mean that people have rejected the government at the end of the day. And this is just a by-election. It's not a national election. Let's see what we will get on the 13th of August 2026.
Okay, so
August 2026 is around the corner. Why should those voters who stayed away want and why should they consider voting for you?
Sir, there might be so many factors that contributed to the voters' apathy. At the end of the day, you find that some people from Chawama, some voters from Chawama are relocated. And mind you, this is rain season. Most of these people are in their farms cultivating and looking after their fields. And the day when people are voting, most people went about their works, you know. Most people were working. So it's very difficult to say the number that UPND got, it will be the same number that they'll get during the national elections.
Mr. Chairman,
there were reported announcements of violence when the results were being announced. What is different? Because the UPND once condemned violence. At the
end of the day, first, I would love to commend our national chairman, the Lusaka UPND provincial committee, and all the people that were there in Chawama campaigning. For the first time, we've seen a peaceful by-election in Lusaka. If it was during PF's time, I'm telling you, there was going to be bloodshed. And PF must really appreciate the UPND government for bringing peace into the country.
But we have reports of violence.
The incidents of violence was coordinated by the PF. They initiated that violence because they thought the UPND were trying to rig the elections. And this is the falsehood message that we were trying to put across the country to say, no, the UPND are trying to rig the election. And that triggered the youth from the PF to start misbehaving at the end of the day. Otherwise, from the beginning of the elections until the voting day, the elections were so peaceful, the campaigns were so peaceful, everyone was peaceful. UPND, PF, and other parties used to meet on the road there. Not even at one day that we heard that there were a fight in Chawama between UPND and PF or any other party.
So the UPND is saying there was no violence, and you are saying that the violence was caused by the opposition. And with that being said,
it's not the UPND that caused the violence was caused by the opposition.
Okay.
They are the ones that attacked the UPND.
Okay. So thank you so much for answering those questions. Thank you so much for your time. As we can see, you are at the airport. We don't know if you are landing or you are traveling.
Traveling.
No, so thank you so much. Have
a very good
journey and travel safe
and be with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May God bless you. May God bless Zambia.
Thank you so much. We value your association. All right. Thank you so much, viewers. You're still watching The Breakfast Show, and we're coming to you live on Topstar, Channel 110, and stream live on our Facebook page. That is Ptv2 Zambia. Please come in the comment section and tell us what you are thinking. What do you think we should talk about today? Or you can drop or call the number 0972 036 306, 0972 036 306. Mr. Musa, this is very interesting. The violence, the reports we're getting, those are violences that was a violence that was orchestrated and planned by the opposition. And the ruling party has got evidence to say it on national TV that it is fact.
You know, it's interesting how politics is, because it's a blame game anyway.
But kuluza kuma baba.
Ilibadi.
Kuluza kweve, kuluza kuma baba.
All right, now, still in the Chawama by-elections, Dominic, Patriotic Front PF material member of Parliament Mausampa has formally apologized to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, over claims that a fake polling station had been set up along Lilai Road during the Chawama parliamentary by-election. What do you have to say with the misinformation during elections?
Mausampa is a very respectable figure in this country, very influential, and we do not expect such from a man who we respect, a man who wants to lead the whole country. What does he want to lead us into? He wants to lead us into bloodshed, because those things that he was posting would have raised serious damage and was almost raising people's emotions.
And people just believe anything that they see.
Believe, because again, people believe because it's Mao Sampa who's mentioned. He has a very great following. We don't expect leaders that we respect to act the way he's acting. That is very careless and that is very irresponsible. And this is a trend that is coming up. We saw even before now. We saw some photos that the DPP president also uploaded on his Facebook page. You know, this is a great concern.
Something that happened obviously in Kenya.
Yes, and bringing it to Zambia. No, we don't need such leaders who are going to be keyboard warriors. We don't need leaders who are going to just talk about things when just wake up, let me do this. No, things should be fact found. You know, you fact search and make sure what you're saying is objective. And please, let these leaders now start to help us more, because the message in Chawama was good. The UPND are alleging that the message that they were giving, the message was about Lungu. Lungu. Okay, Lungu is the son of Chawama Soyo. He was born there. But after Lungu, what are the opposition saying? Is development going to be seen? There's a need. People are now giving their people writing letters so that they can get some funding either from CEC and. What is he going to do to make sure that no one is left behind? Irrespective of the fact that, and respecting the fact that they are not the ones in power, they're in the opposition, but they're leading the people, politics aside. That's what we want to hear, that's the thing we want to see. So, all
right, so when you read the context of his apologies, he actually posted on his Facebook page, he mentioned that he was actually misled by some of the PF people that claimed that the polling station was illegal, and based on what he was told, he wrote on his Facebook page.
Mao Sampa is politically mature. What I mean is he's grown in this politics. You know, he should understand. Let us who are politically immature post such things. He should not be acting like that. That is political immaturity, and that is not right. He can't say I was misled. How long has he been in power? How long have people coming to tell him things that are not true? And he has seen him, so he knows. So even his apology now, okay, we should not have leaders who go to extents of apologizing, individuals.
And this is a demanded for an apology, because that actually, it dented their image.
Yes, because even when Maus was coming to the tallying center, when he was coming, he did not come alone. He came with a mob of people who were breaking vehicles that side. And I saw that he posted to say, no, someone broke a windscreen. Me, I was there. I was there.
Tell us what was happening.
My brother, I was very brave.
How did you survive?
My brother, these are things that we just hear about. But this time I was in the front line. When the cadres were coming, myself and a few media personnel wanted to go and film firsthand. And I said, let me go and see, because I need to give an analysis of what's going on, what is really happening. Is this really violent?
Whenever film.
But I was 2 steps behind. So at the end, I could see them come, and his car was in the middle there. And I could see people with pangas. They were there, even, background. And the guys in the media there were just like, let's go. I'm like, yeah, colleagues, that's what you go through in the field. So, our leaders should take serious responsibility on leading us to better places and giving solutions that will help us. Not such things. We don't want mouths to come and say. We don't want leaders saying sorry. Leaders should come and give checks and balances. Should be on the ground. Vamuza, no, boy, and the person. Take a video call. Let me. Mouse has got the capacity.
When na Boba TV. Let
Boba TV go live. We are standing here. What? And then what? Boba TV. We need such things that are interactive, that are productive. Let's be proactive. Sure. What Mouse did, that's a very bad image. And going to the coming elections, we should safeguard our country from such things. Let's safeguard our country from such people who want to tear us down. You see. Because it's not right. what would have happened? People would have lost their lives. And what would have, he'd have just come and say, so I was misled. No.
Because people really want to protect their vote.
Yes. And that is why also some people I'm seeing, that's why some of the cadres there were upset because they were saying they want to rig, you see. And others, because others were just saying those allegations. But others who follow Mouse didn't want to hear what the ECZ were saying.
Yes.
You see. People were coming to the telling center saying, better my vote. Now, where has that come from? That was engineered by who? By Mouse Samba. So at the end of the day, all those damages, you should actually pay for those damages because it's not right. That sorry is not enough. You would have lost people's lives there. Someone's child would have died because of that careless messages written. You should take proper responsibility for this because even him apologizing, I believe he's been forced to apologize. Maybe someone may not apologize, they want to work. You see? So this is not right for our leaders. We need an opposition that is objective, an opposition that is active and also proactive.
Wonderful. All right, now talking about the violence, especially during elections and let me say political violence, I've realized to say, these politicians, they don't send their family members to the battlefield.
No.
They would just call everyone. Everyone should come in numbers and everything like that. Wow, themselves and probably their relatives and children, they are home in nice places, drinking coffee and everything like that.
Some of them, so
why should your child go on the street and demonstrate when my child is safely, enjoying the environment, the conducive environment? Maybe they are abroad.
This is where we're looking at the quality of our leaders and the quality of our politics in this country. We should start to do issue-based politics because we know that what we're doing is not right. We know that our politics is not real. It's fake, So at the end of the day, we know what comes out and we know that we want to bring violence and cause havoc. We know. Mausamba, after I put, he can't tell his child to go and see what's. He can't because he knows it's such tika kuja. You see. So when we start to do issue-based politics, when we start to be responsible and mature in our posting and mature in our delivery of speech or what we're going to do, things will start to change because we can't continue like this. We must be able to take our own families at the front line. To stand. That's what they can say. Now it is safe to do politics in Zambia.
All right, Dominic, thank you so much. And now, for the past few days, social media has been awash with a deeply moving story of Clinton Mumba, a student at Cavendish University who made the painful decision to hand himself over to Kalingalinga police station after failing to repay a debt of over 14,000 kwacha loan he obtained to settle hospital bills for his ailing mother. The story has sparked a national conversation about poverty, debt, healthcare, and the silent struggles many citizens endure. Let's take a look at this.
I only have 3 students or 2 students I'm tutoring, and that is per month. Someone pays one course 100 kwacha, then I'll tutor for a month. That's how I've been surviving.
In a rare and heartbreaking turn of events, the young scholar from Zambia's Cavendish University, Clinton Mumba, has walked into Kalingalinga police station, surrendering himself over a debt of 14,000 kwacha, an equivalent of $700.
He helped me with food and rent when I ask, and sometimes through the same way I'm helping students for boarding houses, I get to survive. Then sometimes I tutor first-year students in physics and chemistry.
Clinton borrowed this money not for luxury, but to save his mother's life. She lies in a hospital bed at University Teaching Hospital, battling cancer, while he carries the crushing weight of debt with no means to repay.
Because people are on me wanting their money, so I came here to seek for help. If I can find any help. No one brought me here, but I brought myself. I was scared of people following me up and down.
With creditors threatening his life and no relatives to stand by him, Clinton chose the police station as a refugee, a place of safety in the midst of despair. Now, this story is not about a young man's death, but about sacrifice, love, and the pain of choices made when survival collides with circumstance. Clinton's act is a cry for help, a reminder of the silent struggles many endure. Jenja Chizo reporting for IDEC TV News, Lusaka.
That's a very sad and very touching story that has moved the nation. But joining the conversation, Mr. Musa is going to continue having an interview and trying to get a proper descriptive view from one of Zambia's GC comedy to give.
Indeed. All right, so to help us unpack this story and the extraordinary public response it has generated, we are now joined by GC Comedy, who has been at the forefront of mobilizing support for Clinton Mumba. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show, Mr. GC Comedy.
GC Comedy. Good morning. How are you? We are doing
to have you on the Sunrise Breakfast Show on Prime TV2.
Thank you very much.
Let's now get into the conversation. You have been leading the mobilization of contributions for Clinton Mumba, and the response from the public has been overwhelming. Now, take us back to the beginning. How did you come across this story, and what moved you to take this action?
I think for me, I was tagged in a post by one of the Facebook pages. And after I saw the story, I quickly shared on my page just to see if people could respond and come in to help. I think for me, it's one of those stories that at first sight was quite compelling, and I thought there was need for this person to be helped. Of course, after a few hours, I think, into our contributions, I realized that the story had actually initially been initiated by one of the philanthropists that we have on Facebook. I think Ida TV, I think, is the one that developed the story together with the reporter known as Njenje. So for me, I actually just got tagged in that story, and I quickly went to my page and started mobilizing some funds for him.
Right now, this case. Now, what does the public response say about the realities many Zambians are living with, particularly when it comes to debt, healthcare, and desperation?
Yeah, indeed, like you said, the story is a little bit deep. From the response, from the reaction, you could tell that a lot of people were touched by the story, because on my page alone, I think I received over 300 transactions. So meaning over 300 people contributed to the cause, which actually shows how people were actually moved by this story of Clinton Mumba.
Mm-hmm. Clinton actually chose to surrender himself to the police over a debt acquired while trying to save his mother's life. But the question still remains, what does this raise about access to healthcare and social safety nets in our country?
Now, first of all, I actually joked about it with him. Say that's quite commendable. I don't know how many of us actually would have the courage to turn themselves in such a situation. I think it's a bit crazy, because most of the people in this situation would do the unthinkable, actually. So with regards to healthcare and probably, I think even the aspect of mental health here comes in. It's really a commendable job, especially that the debt was incurred by trying to save a situation. So most of the times we find ourselves in such situations, and it's really, really difficult for one to come out and say, okay, here I am, I have wronged people, people are looking for me, I don't know what else to do, so I've surrendered myself. So I think there's quite a lot that we need to learn with regards to how to handle such pressures in modern day.
Mental health, why is it important for us, especially young people, to share some of the challenges that we are going through with others, because we've seen in some instances, this mental or the challenges that we carry have led to people committing suicide. But why is it important for us to be sharing some of the challenges that we are encountering in our day-to-day lives?
So I think it's very important to share what you're going through, because someone out there could actually be the solution to your problem. So it's always advisable to share what, no matter how deep, no matter how disturbing it is. I think it's always right for us to come out in the open and share, because look at what has happened to Clinton. I'm sure at the time that he was taking himself to the police, he had lost all hope. He literally had nothing to do. But if he kept it to himself, there's no one who would have come to his rescue. So I think this is a lesson that it's very important for us to share whatever it is that we're actually going through, because you may never know who comes through for you. And this actually goes to show that Zambian people are loving people, because each time we share such stories, there's nobody who cares who Clinton is. Personally, I only got to know him yesterday. I started the contributions on my page without even having to talk to him or even knowing who he was. So the fact that he just shared the story, total strangers came through for him, people that don't even know anything about him, but because he shared, help came through his way.
How much did you manage, Clinton? And how did it go when you met him yesterday?
So from our page, we were able to raise an amount totaling to 19,774. Although the initial target was only 14,000, but even after we reached 14,000, I told the people, okay, we've hit the target, but people said, no, we still want to contribute. And people kept on contributing until we went, I just literally had to close the contribution because people wanted to give more than what was actually the target. So after I met him yesterday, I think we shared a light moment. He was very, very happy and hopeful that things will be better from then on.
You have since launched a new Facebook page, Jomba Foundation. What inspired the formation of this foundation, and what gap are you hoping to fulfill?
So, firstly, I think this is only the third time that I've tried to mobilize resources using my page. The first was, I think, 3 years ago, over a nursing student who was in Chikankata, and we tried to raise funds for her. Then the next case was just last month when we had a student that was stranded, and this was the third situation. Now, after looking at the overwhelming response, the reaction from the people, and the continuous need for us to help, like my inbox, there's a whole lot of problems. Then I realized that if we are going to be helpful beyond this level, a GC comedy page may be too overwhelmed, because we'll end up just doing contributions as the sole business. So to detach GC comedy from the actual focus on donations, I have been thinking of a separate page which focuses solely on the aspect of helping that one person, just trying to change lives out there. So Jomba Foundation is actually a creation of the people. It's not my idea, it's the initiative of the people. They wanted something that is fully focused on helping at least maybe, say, one person each month, since we haven't been doing this frequently. But if we have a page or a foundation that strictly looks at this, we hope to touch more lives. We hope to reach out to quite a good number of people in 2026 with the coming up of the foundation.
And from the public so far towards the Jomba Foundation?
The page was started yesterday, and trust me, the response is overwhelming. We already have over 4,000 followers on the page just within the first 24 hours. So, and people are engaging already. I tried to give a roadmap on what we are expected to do with the Jomba Foundation, where we want to target at least, if possible, we could have one case in each of the provinces in Zambia, or whatever would be meaningful. What we just want is to reach out to everyone, and the response has been so overwhelming. The engagement and the participation on the page is really excellent from yesterday.
All right, now, Mr. People place enormous trust in you. Personally handle that responsibility, and what principles guide your work? Because like the trust is just so enormous.
Yeah, it's actually scary. It's worrying. I actually commented yesterday. Said you guys, it's you know, money is one very tricky aspect, and for me, I try as much as possible to make it easy. So for contributions, usually when people are making contributions, it's easy to just report a block figure to say, okay, we have 5,000 and what. But for me, I know that with time, if you are not careful with how you handle money, things could actually fall apart. So I think the trust came in because for each transaction that anyone sends, I actually document it. Like I write down, even if it's a 5 kwacha, it's a 10 kwacha, I'll write down the amount and the name of the person that sent, so that all the people that sent the money are actually documented. I can't just put, say, 19,000, because now you leave room for speculation. Say, was it really 19,000? Was it really? So if you document each and every amount, I think it makes it easy for people to follow through. Even those that do not want to be mentioned, I actually put them as anonymous to indicate that there was that amount that came through. And I think that's where the trust comes in. But I must say, it's difficult. It's a very, very difficult thing for me, because the trust is too much. Like, why would you trust someone so much with your money? Like, people are so afraid to send their money with me, which puts me in a very, very delicate situation, because I have to live up to the expectations and the reputation that I've built so far on the aspect.
I think going forward, we have to request from the powers from above to appoint you as Minister of Finance.
I think that request, please start forwarding it. Start pushing the powers. We can handle the coffers very well.
What message would you like to send to policymakers, community leaders, and ordinary citizens after witnessing the Clinton Mumba story unfold?
I think for me, the message is very simple. Zambians are loving people. Zambians are united people. Let us just be there for one another. When you can help, just step up and help and change a life. Where I come from, we say, Tagu hiwa uuna muntu. You may never know where your help comes. You may never know who helps you one day. So my message to everyone out there is that if you can help, or when you can help, please, let's just step up and help, regardless of who needs the help.
Thank you so much for your time and for the work you continue to do in order to uplift those in need. We really appreciate and we don't take your work for granted.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay.
There you have it. We were talking to GC Comedy, who has actually come at the center of everything when it comes to one Clinton Mumba, who incurred a debt of over 14,000 kwacha just to pay the medical bills for his mother. And unfortunately, he had to hand himself over to the police so that, people can account, or he can account to what, he got from people out there. Let's now take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Jesse Blazer as he just talks about what is happening in the world of sports, especially that Senegal actually carried the AFCON trophy for 2025. Don't go away.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Milk, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
Kodi muni mdidekoda ya Top Star ngati muni nayo onererani kanema ku channel yatsopano ya Prime TV2 Zambia pa channel 110 kuti mumvetsere kunkhani zothyakuka mwatsatanetsatane. Izi ndi nkhani zochitika ku madera amene mukhala ndi kwina. Mogwira ntchito pamodzi ndi akatswiri pa nkhani zotola ndi kulemba nkhani, tidzakupatsirani nkhani zomveka bwino komanso zogwira mtima zitangochitika. Prime TV2 Zambia, nyumba yanu ya nkhani zongochitika kumene.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Sunrise Breakfast Show right here on Prime Television Zambia 2. And we're coming to you live on Top Station 110 and also streaming live on our Facebook page. That's Ptv2 Zambia. And we are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. That's Ptv2 Zambia in capital letters. We now joined by Jesse Blaze, the man who sleeps and walks, thinks, dreams, everything about him is sports. Good morning, Mr. Jesse, and welcome to the Sunrise Breakfast.
Good morning, and well, thank you very much for according me this opportunity to be here.
It's an honor actually to have you always on the Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
All right, so first things first, a lot has been happening in the world of sports over the weekend. The big news, or something which is big, is the 2025 AFCON, and we saw, the Lions of Senegal actually emerging victorious, beating the Lions of Morocco. Maybe bring us to speed what was happening, and from the time the AFCON started, how was it, the controversy that was there, even as Zambia was kicked out of the tournament?
Well, the Africa Cup of Nations, first of all, they've scored so many goals. At this moment, it's 125, meaning it's the most scored goals in the tournament, Africa Cup of Nations, from the beginning of it. So it's an amazing thing that has really transpired, and Senegal scoring their first Africa Cup of Nations in the finals.
Mhm.
They haven't been scoring in 2021 when they won the Africa Cup of missed the penalty.
But that penalty,
he wanted to use what they call penanga. So
Okay.
Some of them have really, like Zinedine Zidane has scored such kind of a penalty.
Yes.
We've seen so many great players. Messi has scored like that. Of course, Ronaldo has scored like that. But Aguero missed just like that.
Just like
He
that,
wanted
yeah.
to do that. But I don't know what was really going on, because you can't do that. It's an experiment that we're doing in that particular time. It's needed. But I feel that the pressure was just too much, especially that, at one point, it was almost abandoned. The game was almost abandoned. Senegal went to the dressing room. Most of the players, except Sadio Mane, will remain there. He didn't want to go there. He started consulting, and probably he showed leadership. And I think for me, he is a leader. That's
when the coach was actually calling everyone to move up from the pitch.
He refused, because I think the rules of the game is that you can just you have to go ahead and do all these things, because the referee's decision is final. So you have to accept, whether wrong or right, you have to accept it and just go on and do the right thing, play the game, and probably you can contest or talk about it later, but one thing that you don't have to do is go into the dressing room, abandon the game, or give it a walkover. Because what was going to happen is that maybe the sanctions was going to be even bitter or bad for them. Because if they really continue doing that, Morocco would have emerged the champions. And what happens? Of course, it's going to be a bad situation where somebody won without winning. You know what I mean? So boardroom decision. And then there were World Cup as well. It could have been one of those sanctions that was going to be given to them. So there are a lot of things that was going to happen. But for me, first of all, let me just look at what really transpired.
But
that was a clear penalty.
Yes, that was a clear penalty?
It was a clear penalty.
Okay.
It was a clear penalty. It tripped him, and then he had an advantage over him, and he scored he actually cleared that ball after pinning him. So it was a clear penalty for me. That's my opinion, though. It was a clear penalty. They could have just accepted it and moved forward. I know that Morocco has been favored. It's one of those things where you go into a particular situation by the referees. So that is not supposed to be the case. I think what they needed to do is fair play, accept the whole thing, and let them take a penalty. But I think it affected him, because it took a long time for them to come back and take that penalty. And of course, the one that was tripped is the same guy that went on to kick the penalty. So the pressure was just too much for him, and it worked in favor of Senegal.
All right, but when you look at the picture which is on the screen, we saw the goalkeeper Mendy. People are arguing or debating about his posture and leg. He's not on the line, and they're saying maybe the penalty could have been retaken, everything like that. Maybe as a football enthusiast, what do you have to say about Mendy's posture and how he caught the ball?
Well, the rules are that at least one leg should be on the line. So the other leg can be in front at the time that the penalty is being taken. So one leg should be on the line. It doesn't mean that when the penalty has already been taken, you have to remain on the line. For me, I think it was just a silly penalty. After all what he did, he really played very well. He was the top scorer, probably. He scored in every game that he played except in the final.